Hello, this is my first time using Screencast-O-Matic, so if it doesn't make sense, if there's a couple pauses, I apologize. But this is my final presentation on our case study for buying a home. The family I chose to study during this semester is the Lund family, and they're not exactly real, but it's my future family, hopefully, in the next couple years. So Taylor enjoys rebuilding boats, riding motorcycles, and really doing anything outdoorsy. Currently, he is a certified public accountant working for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he's 26 years old. He's been working his job for 1 year now. Belle is a piano teacher. She works from home. The students drive to her house. Their parents take them to her house, and she gives lessons. She enjoys the beach, shopping, and being with her family. And she is 26 years old as well. And they have one daughter, Sadie, who's 1 year and 2 months old. She enjoys playing outside, is super active, and she has this little stuffed pig Wilbur that she loves. And yes, they do want to eventually have children, but not for a couple of years. And they hope to have 2 to 3 children in the end. Overall financial situation for Belle and Taylor. Belle and Taylor, they have $10,000 in their bank account, in their savings, but they also have $10,000 in debt that they're working to pay off with a monthly payment of $106 per month. They have credit scores of 700, which are decently high but could be better, and they have a fully paid off 2003 Toyota 4Runner. As you know, Taylor and Belle both work. Taylor makes $84,000 annually, while Belle makes $12,000 annually, so their monthly income is $8,000. Belle and Taylor would like to retire by age 60 and serve full-time couples mission together. They also received $8,000 so kindly from both their parents to help them with the down payment on their house. Their maximum monthly mortgage payment can be $2,000, following the 25% rule. And for the home that they are looking for, they want a home with 3 bedrooms. That way they can have a master bedroom, a room for their daughter, and a guest bedroom, and 3 to 4 bathrooms. They would like to have a yard that is fenced in so it can be safe for Sadie. They want a large kitchen, and they also want the home to be very close to work, as their apartment currently is. That way Taylor can continue biking to work and they don't need another car. So the first option for a home is the dream home. The monthly mortgage payment is about $2,000 per month, and this home is listed at $449,000, and it has 6 bedrooms, so that's more than they need. 2 bathrooms, and it's large, fenced in, has a nice yard. And although the monthly mortgage payment is about 1% over the family's predetermined budget, this home has 6 bedrooms, which could provide their future children with their own bedrooms, while also allowing for a playroom, an office, and a guest bedroom. And this house is in great condition, very spacious, very close to their work. Okay, other option is the modest home. The monthly mortgage payment is about $1,500 per month, and that it fits well within their budget. It has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, so perfect for them, and it has a fenced-in backyard, so Sadie could still play around and be safe. It fits all their needs and even allows their future children to have their own bedroom. However, it's not in the best condition. It's not quite as new and nice as the other house, and the kitchen is a little smaller. It's going to need some love and updating. So family budget, as you can see, the income is $8,000 per month, and the expenses are $8,000, so there is no surplus or deficit. It is 0. The optimum mortgage payment is $1,547. That's the PITI from the modest home. And these are the numbers for when the family has already bought their home, although in the end they will be renting actually for a few more years before they're able to do so. Here is their savings plan. So if you look, they actually chose to do a 4-month savings plan. So $32,000 is what they want to save up. Each month in their short-term savings from their budget, they're going to allow $500. So if we're looking right at the middle with a 2% return CD, it's going to take them 50 months about to save up a 4-month emergency fund. And also, here is their saving up for a down payment. It would take them about 32 months to save up for a 20% down payment, which is what they want, so they don't have to pay PMI. But also, their parents said that they are completely willing to help them come up with the difference of what they need to meet that 20% down payment as a loan. So that is an option for them. So they are able to make the 20% down payment with help from their parents. Okay, mortgage terms. So I looked up online and searched for the best mortgage terms for Bell and Taylor. For a 15-year loan, they would have a 3.25 APR with a down payment of 20% and their credit score of 700. For a 30-year loan, it'd be slightly higher interest rate, obviously, 3.930, but their payment is a lot lower. So they are choosing to go with the 30-year loan because of the lower payment. Now, later, they did actually, as you'll see, they'll do the calculations and understand how much more interest is paid with a 30-year loan. It's almost triple the amount of interest that would be paid with a 15-year loan, total interest. So I tried to go back, but the house was sold. So I couldn't find this monthly payment again. The property tax changed and it just wouldn't work. So we're sticking with the 30-year loan. Okay, taxes. So their property taxes are $277 monthly. Looking at itemized deductions versus standard deductions, with itemized deductions, it ended up being $32,293, which is more than the standard deduction of $24,000 with purchasing the modest home. So they chose to take the itemized deduction. So with the home, they have a tax liability of only $5,593, versus without the home, they would have a tax liability of $6,588. So that's about $1,000 less because they own a home or will own a home. So that is great. Okay, car situation. So like I said, Bell and Taylor right now and the houses they're looking at are super close to Taylor's work, super close to the school that Sadie will eventually go to, and all of Belle's piano students drive to her house. So they only need one car and they have one completely paid off. This 2003 Toyota 4Runner has a 23-gallon tank, gets 18 miles per gallon. They usually only fill it up one time per month. So it's about $100 in fuel costs, and then they pay $108 around there in insurance per month. So they didn't actually have a Edmunds 5-year cost own a car for a Toyota 4Runner 2003. So I did this for a possible future car. Even though they're not looking for one now, in the future, if they decided to get a car, it would be a Jetta Sport Wagon, which gets 30 miles per gallon city, and I believe 42 highway, which is awesome. They'd only have to fill it up again once a month. That would be $50 in fuel costs. It's half the cost, which is awesome. Okay, long-term debts. Bell and Taylor actually don't have any credit card debt, personal loans, secondary mortgages, car loans, anything like that. They're not planning on buying cars soon, as I previously mentioned. But Bell and Taylor have a student debt of $10,000, which they pay off with a monthly payment of $106.07 per month. They want to work it off, pay it off within 10 years. And of course, their other debt is tithing, because that will play a role in how much they're able to get for their loan. And so you want to include tithing as a long-term debt to make sure you don't buy too much house, as we learned in class. And their tithing would be $800 per month. Okay, PITI means principal, interest, tax, and insurance. That's your total payment basically towards your home. In total, that would be $1,547. So really, the mortgage payment for the home, principal and interest, is $1,212. But the PITI, including property tax, home insurance as well, is $1,547. And there would be no PMI, personal mortgage interest paid, because the down payment would be 20%, because their parents are willing to help them out, and they already have $18,000 saved up as well for their down payment. The back-end ratio, that tells you how much they can qualify for. So their debt payments all their debt payments, PITI and every other debt payment, including tithing, should be less than 36% of their monthly income. And as you can see with tithing, their mortgage payment, PITI, and their student loan, they total to $2,453.70, which is only 30.67% of gross monthly income. So they could qualify for a loan on the modest home, which is good news. Now, there's a lot of information on this slide, but basically, Bell and Taylor have decided that the best option for them in the short term is to continue renting. Now, although there are only 3 members in their small family, Bell and Taylor plan on staying in Salt Lake for years to come, close to extended family, and where Taylor is going to build up his credibility and work experience. So it would be nice to buy a home and let it appreciate. They could build up equity by purchasing a home, and their rent has been raised in the past, which is slightly annoying. With a home purchase, they would have a fixed monthly payment with a fixed 30-year loan. That would be good. However, in order to gather enough money for a 20% down payment and not pay PMI like they really are feeling strongly about, they would have to borrow a significant amount of money from their parents, which could put a large strain on their relationship. So Bell and Taylor think it'd be better to rent. If they did so, they could save up money for the rest of the down payment, and whatever they couldn't make up within the next 2 years that they are renting, they could borrow from their parents, but it would be a significantly smaller amount than they would be needing to borrow right now, putting less strain on their relationship. Also, if they wait about 2 years until they have their next child to rent and then buy a home, they could build up their credit score, which is not very high right now. That way they could qualify for better interest for their loan, and this would also help them to have time to pay off their student loan, and that way they could that could allow them more home for their back end ratio. So they have decided that it would be best to rent instead. And here's a loan interest comparison. So taking into account the 20% down payment, the loan amount would be $256,000. And in total, as I mentioned earlier, the total interest paid for a 15-year loan is a third of the interest paid for the 30-year loan. So their interest saved would be $112,453. That is a lot of money. So when I tried to go back and take the 15-year loan instead, as I said, the house was already sold and I couldn't exactly find out the payment. So Bell and Taylor decided to stick with the 30-year loan because the monthly payment fit better into their budget and they couldn't go back anyway to figure out exactly what the 15-year loan payment would be on that home. So if they had purchased the modest home instead of the dream home, they could have saved $463 per month. And if they had invested that money for 30 years, that amount of money, that $463 per month, would turn into over $1 million. So even though the modest home would appreciate to a lesser amount than the dream home had they bought the dream home, if they ended up doing the modest home and investing that difference in the monthly payment for the modest home and dream home, they would have ended up with more money. So it is smarter for them to buy the modest home and invest the difference rather than buy the dream home. But in the end, it's smarter to rent for the next 2 years than purchase the modest home. Okay, so the best housing option for Bell and Taylor is to rent. Originally, I wanted them to buy the more expensive home, but after understanding all the other expenses they would have each month and the importance of the back-end ratio, it was obvious the modest home would be the better option. Then when we calculated the difference in total interest paid with the 15-year loan versus the 30-year loan, I wanted to go back and change to the 15-year loan, but I realized that the amount of interest and the payment amount I couldn't find because the house had already been sold. So I decided to continue with the 30-year loan, but with the 20% down payment in order to avoid paying PMI, which is something that doesn't benefit anyone but the lenders. Thus, Bell and Taylor have found that it would be best for them to rent for the next 2 to 3 years, but their future home considerations would be having the student loan paid off, have a 20% down payment, and aim for a 15-year loan to save on total interest. So Bell and Taylor will